My favorite thing about President Trump is he's got all the right enemies, right?
Yeah.
The enemies he's got are the MAGA guys, the one who want to make America lousy again, like those people over there. I want to talk to you about those enemies because I think the threat that those enemies pose is far worse than most of you can imagine. Now, there's been a lot of talk about fake news, right? We're waking up now. We're waking up to the idea that this fake news is something that's always been going on. I want to read you a quote from Thomas Jefferson back in 1807. He said, "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in the newspaper. Truth itself becomes suspicious by being put into that polluted vehicle." I may add that the man who never looks into a newspaper is better informed than he who reads them, inasmuch as he who knows nothing is nearer to truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors. Our children have grown up in an environment that is full of falsehoods and errors. This is what Ronald Reagan told us 30 years ago. It's not so much that the liberals are ignorant, it's that they know so many things that aren't so. Every day now, we get a rain of fake news from the media. Oh, the economy is recovering. It's just great. Wait, oh, you want to swap me out? Okay.
I don't know if I need to be any louder. Sounds different.
We have very serious problems in this country, like the PERS problem in Oregon. And everybody says, oh no, we can't fix that, we can't do anything about it, we've just got to raise taxes and suck the lifeblood out of every productive person left in Oregon. Fewer and fewer over time. They say, oh look, the stock market's up, everybody's fine because the rich people are getting richer because the government's printing all this money and handing to the rich people, no problem. We can just live on that, we don't need manufacturing, we'll all get rich flipping burgers for each other, right? Yeah. More fake news. Do any of you believe all this stuff? No. So we start to wake up, and what does that make us when we wake up? It makes us deplorable, because if you wake up to the point where you realize that your own government has been screwing you for years, now you're a Nazi, or an anti-Semite, or a white nationalist, or something like that, right? Yeah.
Don't forget homophobe, bigot, racist.
Our lying media wants us to believe that President Trump and all of his people are secret Russian agents planning to enslave us under a global communist regime, right? Any of you believe that? They say these things because they are liars, and they always say the opposite of the truth. And the truth is that Trump and his appointees want to put America first, not the Russians. Now, I want to tell you, there is a political party out there that's been trying to enslave us under the communists for decades. It's the Democrats. I'm an old man, okay? My entire life, I've watched the Democrats selling us out. For the Democrats to be attacking the Republicans on this issue is the biggest psychological case of projection I have ever seen. What, you remember all these Democratic heroes? Remember Ted Kennedy? Ted Kennedy, Senator Ted Kennedy, the great Democrat from Massachusetts, and him and the California Senator Tunney, who they used to call the lightweight son of the heavyweight champion. They went over to Russia and were secretly negotiating with the head of the KGB to how to sell out Reagan and give him secret tips for negotiating against Reagan, and nobody talked about that. That was real treason. That's what's going on now. And how many of you remember when Obama was over there meeting with the Russians and they caught him on tape in the middle of the conference saying, just wait till after the election and we can be much more accommodating to your needs? Yeah, does anybody think Trump would say stuff like that? Of course not. Of course not. We are facing a real crisis with this stuff. We have people out there who are trying to take the president down, and those people are enemies of America. And we now have a surveillance state out there that is recording every single thing that everyone is doing and using it for their own black purposes. That's what Trump said when he meant that he was being wiretapped. And he was being wiretapped because we're all being wiretapped now. And there are hundreds of these agents in the government who have access to our transcripts of everything that we say, and they can use them for any purpose they want, and nobody's doing jack about it.
And when do we authorize this?
Now, Trump is doing one super great thing that is the greatest threats to leftist power that exist in this country. He is trying to get control of immigration. That is the most important thing for America first, because that is the great strategy for destroying America. Throw open the borders and give everybody free stuff and have them vote for more free stuff until the whole country is put in ruins. Now, we're all called racists because we point this out. But the simple truth is, once upon a time, immigration was simple. You want to come over here, you get somebody to sponsor you, and they pay your way. And if you can't pay your way, they send you back. That was when we had real immigration that brought up self-reliant Americans that worked. Most people are not against real immigration of real people who want to make jobs instead of sucking down money. And when Oregon's farmers needed extra people to pick the crops at harvest time, the Mexicans would come up and pick them, and then they'd go back. And we allowed that. But that wasn't good enough for the Democrats, no, because those people couldn't vote leftist. So they shut down all those programs and established all these other programs that everyone has to come over now illegally or come over on one quota or another quota and get signed up for all how to vote and all this free stuff. And it's sucking the life out of the country, and Trump understands that. Now, it's not just, of course, the Democrat politicians that are doing this. I'm a lawyer, and I'm here to tell you we now have an entire generation of judges in place who have no respect for law whatsoever. They are not judges anymore. They are just leftist fixtures who are out there to serve the awful god of power that they worship. Like, how about that guy in Hawaii? Obama flies out and has dinner with him, and the next day he writes a legal opinion 43 pages long that says if we restrict immigration from Yemen, that's unconstitutional because it's like establishing a state church. Is that nuts or what?
Boo!
But what does it mean when we have so many judges who are nuts? It means we are in serious trouble. This is not something that's just going to blow over if we all just sit and wait for it to go away. It's not even something that Trump may be able to fix by himself without help from each and every one of us. You know, these judges are out there. These judges are even saying it's unconstitutional for you to show ID when you vote so that all the illegals can vote. And that's part of what Representative Neerman and I are working on, and we hope you'll sign the petitions, because we need signatures on these petitions so that people have to prove citizenship before they vote.